Hi everybody, my name is Mercedes, and in this presentation we are going to be talking about the challenges that transgender individuals face. I did get topic number 1 as my last name is a C and it does fall into that category. Okay, so in this project, the challenges that I'm going to be talking about involve social challenges, psychological challenges, and family challenges. And the challenges that transgender individuals face in their daily lives do revolve around these three main things. And so the challenges can range from like discrimination to lack of legal protection to harassment and to like struggles within like family and like friend relationships. And so with each obstacle that they do face, there are a lot of barriers to overcoming these challenges. And so with social challenges, we do have discrimination, lack of legal protection, and harassment. So with the first one, discrimination, transgender individuals often encounter discriminations like amongst in like multiple and various events in life. So this can be with like with finding jobs, this could be with finding like healthcare and education, being able to like apply for a house. And with this, I am going to be toggling between slides. I do think I have the quotes on the next slide that would support the discrimination. Let me see. Yes, so right here, reported by the National Center for Transgender Equality, 29% of transgender individuals experience homelessness due to discrimination, while 30% face harassment in educational settings. And so I'm going to toggle back because this quote on the bottom does tie into the social challenge. So the second one, this would also be lack of legal protection. The third one would be harassment, in which is seen in the book. So with that third one, this is where the second quote comes into place. The second quote is 54% of those who were out or perceived as transgender in K through 12 were verbally harassed. Nearly 1/4 were physically attacked, and 13 were sexually assaulted in 12 through K because of being transgender. And so in the book, Luna does go through discrimination, she does go through harassment, and in a way I do think that that this one right here, lack of legal protection, I do think this would have happened because of the fact that like there are like multiple examples in the book where Luna was attacked physically and really nothing happened to the kids who attacked her. And so let me see, I believe it's this slide right here. Yes, and so this example in chapter 13 best describes the harassment that Luna went through. So in chapter 13, the quote is, "How could Luna show up at school? People knew we were related. Chris knew, Liam knew, and Chris knew, Liam and I would never be disassociated now. Me and Luna, they'd always see me as Reagan, the one with the transgender brother. I'd never be able to separate from him, never have my own identity. Even worse, people would think I was like him, her, different. I didn't want to be different. I wanted to be the same. I wanted to be accepted, loved, liked for who I was." And so, in this chapter, or at least before the chapter, Luna went down to Reagan's school and she dropped something off for Reagan, but she did not tell Reagan that she was going to go down to the school, or she didn't give her like a place to meet up at. And instead, Liam, who is Luna, she went to the school dressed as Luna rather than being dressed as Liam. And so when the students did see that, they beat on Luna. Like, they physically attacked her, verbally attacked her, and while Reagan couldn't have done much in that situation, she didn't do anything, if that makes sense. So there was something that could have been done, but she did not do anything. And so that is one of the biggest challenges that I think a lot of individuals in the United States and in the book Luna face. They do face a lot of discriminations and harassment by the public. There's a lot of videos like on social media where, especially like on YouTube or Instagram or like TikTok, there'll be videos where people beat on transgender individuals, or they assault people who are a part of the LGBT community, all because they're different, and they can't accept that there are people who aren't just like a copy and paste of themselves. But that does lead me to my next topic, which would be the psychological challenges. And so with this, I think that these two are the biggest challenges that can happen to transgender individuals. And so the first one would be diagnosis of transgender and homosexuality as a mental illness. The second would be major depressive episodes. Let's see. Let me go to this part right here. Okay, this quote would support both of these. Yes, these quotes would support both. Well, mainly the first one. I do have a quote for the major depressive episodes, but it's going to be from the book Luna. So, right here, the diagnosis of transgender and homosexuality as a mental illness. So, historically, transgender individuals and homosexuality, it was kind of like it was given a negative stigma. So the way medical professionals in the past categorized these two topics right here, they categorized it as something that was a mental disorder. So they would use a term like gender dysphoria, and they classified it as like a mental disorder. And so this right here, it does have like a negative stereotype towards transgender individuals and people who are a part of the LGBTQ community. And so with this, with like them having like a diagnosis, or like if people think that being transgender or like being gay is like a mental illness, this is where like there are like some barriers to accessing healthcare. So that's how I see it. Like their healthcare, for example, if let's say there's a doctor who believes that this is a mental illness, that could limit a transgender person's ability to receive adequate healthcare or to receive like gender affirming healthcare, which can lead to number 2, which is the major depressive episodes. And so for major depressive episodes, I did choose my quote from Luna. Reagan said, "I hated when he got this way. Depressive, suicidal, his pain was so palpable it made me hurt." So in the book, Luna went through a lot of stuff emotionally. The way Luna tried to express herself in the book, it was a struggle for her. Like both in the beginning of the book, the middle of the book, and the end of the book. So, like, earlier in the book, she resisted change because of the fear and wonder of, like, how everything and everyone would change if she presented, like, as Luna rather than as Liam. And so, with this is where she hid Luna. She, like, tucked it so deep down inside that it physically and emotionally hurt her. Like, she would cry every night. She would avoid staring at mirrors because she didn't like the way she looked. She really couldn't be herself, and she had to find, like, the inner strength and the inner courage to break free and morph into Luna without really having, like, the public's view affect how she wants to live life. Like, obviously there is going to be, like, obviously Luna can't just tune out everybody and pretend like their words don't hurt. No, she knows that their words are going to hurt, but she did get through it. She had a lot of courage to be able to, like, transition and fully let the world know that she is Luna rather than just being Liam. And so with that, there were some family and friend relationship challenges that occurred in the book. And so in the book, not in the book, in the book and in real life, there are family rejections to sexual orientation, the traditional gender roles, and transitioning the traditional gender roles do have, like, a really big impact on how a person transitions, and so does, like, the family and friend relationships. And like, many transgender individuals face rejection and hostility from their families and friends when they come out or, like, begin their transition. And so, like, this lack of support can lead to, like, isolation, loneliness, and homelessness. So essentially, this last slide connects to both social challenge and psychological challenge. This quote right here states trans people live in poverty at elevated rates, and for trans people of color, these rates are even higher. Around 29% of adults live in poverty, as well as 39% of Black trans adults, 48% of Latin trans adults, and 35% of Alaskan Native, Asian, Native American, and Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander trans adults. And so this quote right here, this is a quote about poverty and homelessness and how it is like a higher rate. And this could be because there really is no support from the family. A lot of times, when a person does come out as transgender or, like, as a person who, or, like, as a person, a part of the LGBTQ community, a lot of the times family aren't familiar about what it is, how it, like, impacts their kiddo or how it's going to impact the family. And a lot of them don't take the time to understand what it really is, and most of the time they're kicked out of the house, and so this could lead to, like, poverty. And so I think it's this one right here. Yeah, so the Luna example, I believe that in chapter 4 this best sums up, like, I think this sums up how traditional family roles affects a person's ability to transition. And in chapter 24, I identified it as a macho man dad versus a girly girl daughter. So the dad is a very, very, very strong believer of traditional gender roles, and Luna essentially had to keep her identity hidden because of what her dad would do to her, and this is seen in the book. On Luna's 18th birthday, she went to the table, she sat down, but the thing is, she was wearing her skirt, she was wearing her makeup, she was dressed as Luna and not as Liam. The dad was livid. He was, honestly, I believe the best word that could be used would be mortified. He did not like seeing Liam as Luna, and this is where he gave them the choice. He was like, you could remove the clothes and say it's a joke, or you can get out the house. And that's really what Luna did. She got out the house. She ended up moving. She bought a plane ticket and she left. And this can show how, that scene right there, that shows how societal expectations of traditional gender roles pose a great challenge for transgender individuals during their transition process. And these expectations may pressure them to conform to the binary gender norms, and that limits their freedom and expression of gender identity. And this right here is my works cited page. I did get most of my my items from EBSCOhost. These two right here, those ones include the percentage. I will I'm going to convert those to the correct MLA citation. But I do think that there are a few things that the United States could do in order to ensure that transgender individuals are completely safe. And so I think to address discrimination, anti-discrimination laws need to be implemented and enforced at federal levels, state levels, and local levels. So they could raise awareness through education. Campaigns can be made to help challenge the societal prejudices, and inclusivity could be promoted. And not only that, I do think that gender affirming healthcare can be promoted. That right there, that's a really big one. I think that if gender affirming healthcare is promoted, then that challenges the negative stigma held towards transgender individuals. And mental health professionals should receive training on transgender issues in order to be able to provide that affirming care to the correct level. And this would that would be able to create an inclusive environment where transgenders feel accepted and valued, and that would promote their mental well-being. So in conclusion, overall, transgender individuals face a multitude of challenges in various aspects of their lives, from discrimination to harassment to lack of legal protection and to family rejection. And so in order to address these challenges, there has to be efforts made by policymakers, healthcare providers, educators, and essentially society as a whole. A more inclusive and affirming environment can be created for transgender individuals, but that could only happen if we are advocating for equality and promote acceptance and provide supporting services. Thank you.